Hello there folks, today we're bringing you a 2v2 on Argus Desert Gate 2v2 mode. So we've got Flintstone here rocking the brother captain. He's going to be teaming up with Vagrant Table, who's playing some Eldar. So for some reason, I don't know how they've done it, but the Eldar and the Automalius have agreed a truce to slay some heretics. We've got Meta Kalos here, the Chaos Lord, versus Beholden Baton of the Bagaznik Boys, playing as the PC. So let's see how they do here. Now this is actually pretty cool because Flynn and Meta are somewhere between Initiate and Intermediate. And then Vagrant and Baton are somewhere between Intermediate and high level players. So it's cool that they're laning against one another. Hopefully this will produce a nice balanced matchup for us. Now you know how I feel about the Automalius in team games. If you've been watching some of my POV content, I actually think OM are amazing in team games. I think they're pretty good in general right now. Pretty well balanced, but I think they're quite clearly superior in team games to how they fight in 1v1. Being able to blob a bit more, being less concerned about map control, and not feeling as pressured to get multiple IST in the early game is really nice. But we'll see how they fare. For now, we've got some funky traces on the Guardians over here. I don't know what's going on there. Shooting red traces. Probably should be focus firing the heretics of the Guardians right now. Yeah, he does refocus, but it's kind of a tough fight, man. The Banshees went in too early there. Lucky special attack there, procced on the Warlock and actually hitting the heretics. Now down here, Flintstone Strike Squads. So many S's, jeez. Flintstone Strike Squad is really putting the pressure on. First off, one of the heretics here from Meta Kalos. I don't know if Meta Kalos got only one heretic or two. I assume he only got one. And that's obviously going to present a problem versus the Strike Squad. They're just going to run you through, especially when they're supported by a brother captain in the early game. You need that aspiring champion, which he does have. And again, I didn't notice if he had that in the fight. I assume not. But with the aspiring champion and double CSM in the next fight, he'll have a better time. Once again, Banshees are leading the line here. We're getting a lot of funky traces from the Guardians for some reason. PC slaying one of the Guardians on approach, going to get out of there. But yeah, okay, they're forcing everyone off. All the traces have gone weird. What the hell is going on? I don't know, the Eldar traces have gone crazy. Oh well. It looks cool. It's making me think they're fucking fire dragons though. Anyway. So the Eldar are going to push onto the gen farm. I don't really think there's anything that Baton can do to defend it. Should we probably be getting an AC on this guy? Can he afford it? Yeah, he can. Interesting that he's not. Can try repairing the gen for now. Stall for a little bit of time, but ultimately not that long. Before the Noise Marines can get forward. Can't save the gen. So that's nice. Vagrant will claim that and he's going to back off. I was going to say, you could do with a shuriken really to deter these Noise Marines, then that would force a grenade launcher response, and then you are justified in getting double battle equipment, dropping energy shields, and your composition would be pretty good there. You've also got the Merciless Witchblade Robes combo, and your Warlock could be pretty effective since there's only a Noise Marine, but he's going for Rangers instead. I feel like if he doesn't combine this with a tanky Warlock, he's just going to get overwhelmed in melee quite easily by Baton, but we'll see. And you see Ticks just running into the Purgation here isn't ideal. They will be able to push through eventually, but they're taking a lot of damage for it, and the Purgation can just retreat with no model losses. They didn't actually kill a lot of models. Oh, beautiful special proc there from the BC though on the aspiring champion. That's going to lead to 3 more dead heretics. Nice. That's a good bit of XP there for the brother captain. Pretty cost effective, but looks like the IST and Strike Squad were forced off earlier. So against double CSM like this, I'd probably go for the tanky melee build on the BC. Even with double CSM, that's not really that much damage. Oh, I just realized now all 3 CSM are on the top side. That's pretty rough. Yikes. Yeah, that's a lot of heavy infantry. And with all 4 of these boys here with their bolters, that's a lot of ranged DPS. They're going to now focus down these generators. Rangers will be able to output some good damage. You see their DPS is actually very good, even if their DPH is somewhat lacking. So Flynn needs to take this opportunity and put pressure on that bottom side while the CSM are up here. You know, you've just got Heretics, Chaos Lord. Ample opportunity for Purgation to push onto the farm. Vagrant's not really communicating that there's free CSM up here. He probably should. I mean, I don't know if they're in voice chat. If they're not, he definitely should be telling his teammate, whoa, hold on, there's actually 2 CSM here, you need to put the pressure on. Because I don't think Flynn really realised that the CSM had gone top. Goes for the Mind Blades here, I'm not actually sure that was necessary. Oh, we might wipe the Heretics here. Wow, they took ages to retreat. Damn. He will get the wipe. And then he just retreats, which seems a bit... seems excessive. I don't know why he needed to retreat there. It's just a Chaos Lord. He didn't even have the combi bolter. And then the other weird thing was the Chaos Lord backed off from a Purgation squad. I guess they're watching top, so... No, he's not. What the fuck? Meta? What are you watching, mate? Weird. Okay, what the hell? Baton has the biggest tier 1 ever. Okay, maybe not that big actually. He only has 2 default Heretics, no Aspirant Champions. And he goes for the Raptors to try and deal with the Rangers, double Rangers. It's actually going to be pretty effective against this build. With a lot of CSM going around. Snipers will be quite nice. Just got the default IST, going to be capping a little bit. We've got the Rhino en route. I'm not sure how the BC is getting forced off so easily. I do think the Blessed Aegis would be very nice in the BC here. There's not a lot really to deal with the BC, not having a Havoc. Just relying on double CSM to try and focus fire at BC sounds like a bad idea, certainly if he's got the Blessed Aegis to get that shield, which you then fuel with your strike squad. You know, the Brocap should be pushing down here and zoning for the Purgation who are getting the Gen Bash. I feel like Flynn's missed a lot of opportunities. Now the other thing he needs to be careful of, he knows that he's got a Rhino en route, so that Rhino can facilitate the Purgation getting a relatively easy bash on the bottom, and then they can rotate, stop, and basically save Vagrant, who's probably going to get pushed back to his farm right now. In fact, that Rhino's been idled right now, which is actually a big mistake. He needs to hurry up and move it. Actually could do with going top right now, because there's nothing threatening the Purgation, and his teammate's going to need the support. Baton is now tier 2, you see he's got the Aspirant Champion en route for the Raptors, where the Banshees they're in base. So this whole force here is very, very vulnerable right now to the Raptors. I don't think Vagrant's really going to be able to do much to stop this. Yeah, I mean, those shitty little shuriken catapults against Noble Worship Chaos Raptors with a champion. It's not going to go well. Yeah, so the Razorback should have gone top, and it would have been able to force all this off. There's no real AV, there's only the champion, which can't kill a Razorback on its own. So again, we've got a little bit of communication problems here. The Raptors are now going to meet the Banshees on the field, but the Banshees lack their Exarch. So the Raptors should be able to manhandle them, but the Raptors aren't fighting the Banshees. And that's a nasty Destructor. Ooh, Touch and Nurgle might save the day. That was a really clutch Touch and Nurgle. Can kill the Raptors. Oh god. Can kill the Rangers with the Raptors. But he doesn't see it. Baton doesn't see it, and that is going to be... It's going to be a destroyed gen farm, but he loses 2 Raptors for it and doesn't actually wipe anything. Meta has gone for double Zinch Kill Space Marines, which is very, very terrible. That's a horrible, horrible idea. Because they're just going to get tied up in melee by Strike Squad and the BC. Again, BC should have his Aegis to punish these range troops. And now Plague Marines, which, I mean, okay, you need to kill the fucking Rhino, so fine. But yeah, like a melee build here from Flynn would absolutely dominate. He's going for a Grey Knight Dreadnought right now, which doesn't make any sense. You already have a Razorback and you just seen Plague Marines. Why are you getting Grey Knight Dreadnought? What's that going to do? If you really want, you just go tier 3. Also, Flynn, your Razorback needs to go top, mate. Your ally's getting base locked right now. All he needs is a Razorback to push the enemy off, and then he'll be able to recover. There's no AV top. Really should be sending his Razorback top to help out Vagrant right now. Very, very defensive. Now, Vagrant Okay, Vagrant has finally got the Falcon, so now he's going to be able to push this force off and regain the top. But waiting for this has cost the red team so much because they've lost the power. All it would have taken was one flank with the Rhino. Did he really need the Rhino down here? I don't know. Against double Zinchka Space Marines? I don't think so. BC ties up one, Strike Squad ties up the other. What's he going to do? He's only got default Heretics. He doesn't have... Okay, he's got Drain Life. But that's it. He doesn't have, like, crazy anti-melee war gears. There's no Blood Maul in the Case Lord or anything. You just tell him from melee. And now he's got the Grey Knight Dreadnought, but... I don't know, man. Like, there's already AV on the field. Obviously, one Plague Marine can't counter a Grey Knight Dreadnought. You just force melee. I'm not really sure what the side cannon is meant to be doing either. Against double fully upgraded Mark of Zinchka Space Marines, you need to just get into melee with the cunts. You can get the Acolyte and the Plasma Guns and the IST, otherwise the IST don't really have any business shooting these guys. But now you've got two squads, you've got two vehicle units and you've only got one IST to repair them, so that's another problem. I don't know, I don't get the point of this Dreadnought. Now he's getting a melee upgrade, so now this is 150 power, and this, what is there to kill in melee? You're just going to send it forward to tie up Zinchka Space Marines in melee. Oh, well, you could have done that already with the Strike Squad and a Brother Captain. You didn't need 150 power Dreadnought. The melee Dreadnought's mostly used for defensive counter initiation. You get a lot of inspiration procs, you know, countering bloodletters. If you've got like double IST fully upgraded with plasma guns and you've got a side cannon, then you can outtrade the Zinchka Space Marines. But just sending this thing forward seems like a terrible idea. I don't know, I don't like this play. I really think Aegis... Oh, now he's got Mantle of Terror. What? What are you doing? So he's got the energy economy upgrade, but he's chosen the weapon that doesn't have an ability. Why? I don't get it. You've chosen the Halberd, which doesn't have an ability. Isn't it then obvious to go for the Aegis, which gives you better HP regen than this? And gives you a massive shield, which will be really strong because you don't have to drain your energy on an ability because you've got the Force Halberd, which doesn't have an ability. No, this war gear is awful. This heal is... Oh no, now he's committing to a fight with two players on his own. His teammate is late to support. Bloodlust also is activated, and when this Bloodlust is activated, the whole commitment is just awful. Okay, miss micro there from Meta to de-set up his Havoc. But honestly, should be able to kill both vehicles right now. Okay, there's a miss micro there from Baton. Probably could have forced melee and killed the Razorback too. But yeah, that Dreadnought was awful. Where were the Purgation in that fight? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they got forced off ages ago. They probably did. I don't know what the Dreadnought choice was. That was really bad. Again, I mean, look at this build from Meta right now. Look at it. Vulnerable to melee range squad. Vulnerable to melee range squads. Vulnerable to melee range squads. Why would you go for a Dreadnought? Just get more melee units. Purifiers would have been amazing. Interceptors would have been even better. Because, you know, they're not going to get shot on approach by plasma guns and 6 Inferno bolters. Get your Justicar a lot sooner on the Strike Squad. Get the Aegis on the Brother Captain so you can tank and just run them through. Keep the IST capping with the Razorback and use the Razorback to support pushes on the far side. Because the only AV right now is the Chaos Dreadnought, which, by the way, if you hadn't gone for a side cannon, which isn't doing anything, when you see the Chaos Dreadnought, he could have gone for a Beamer, which would greatly help out your ally, who doesn't really have any capability to get proper AV because he went for double ranges, so he can't get a Bright Lance. He's got a little bit of AV with a Falcon, but a Falcon is not very good against a Chaos Dreadnought. Now we see the AV coming out of Meta here, supporting the top, putting a bit of pressure on, but it's going to deter the Falcon. However, it's not going to be able to kill it, especially with the Guardians around. I'm a little bit confused as to why Vagrant doesn't have the battle equipment upgrades on the Guardians. Running double Guardians in team game, you should definitely get that. 33% extra HP is, I mean, for 15 power, that's a steal. Definitely you should be getting that battle equipment. Reduce the bleed of your army by a lot. Flynn, you need to look up the numbers on this battle rights. Battle Rights. Heals ally infantry by 3 HP for 20 seconds. That's 60 HP, brother. Your strike squad have 1,952 HP. So it takes 20 seconds to heal 10% of your model's HP. This is not an ability that's going to change engagements for you. This is an ability that you use in between fights to heal, which quite frankly is archaic now because of the Tomes of Titan granting crazy amounts of regen out of combat. That ability on the Mantle of Terror existed before the Tomes of Titan granted the Strike Squad more regen out of combat. And quite frankly, that ability on the Mantle of Terror isn't even necessary anymore. You don't even need it. 60 HP... 60 HP per strike model over 20 seconds is negligible when you have 500 HP per model. Who cares? This is not an ability that justifies buying a war gear and you use in the middle of combat. Blessed Aegis would have been a million times better here. Okay, so all the players are tier 3 now, and one of the great things about being tier 3 as the Eldar with the Falcon is you get this beautiful energy shield. It's not as strong as your normal shields, but it's pretty good. 3.5 HP per second. 3.5 damage taken per 1 energy. So that's an extra 350 HP, which is pretty juicy when you consider the Falcon's only got 500 HP to start with. You know, 35%. No, what's that? 70% increase or something like that in terms of HP. Okay, this is a bit of a scrap right now. We've got Melter Raptors. What a beautiful sight. Another tier 3 choice. You don't see this one very often. Can we swap to the focus beam? Needs to swap to the disperse beam very quickly. I'm losing my words. Too much is going on. Needs to be on the disperse beam to knock over these raptors and stop them shooting. Touch and Nurgle to keep them in play a little bit longer. And the Fire Prism is mismicroing. Is he shooting the raptors? No, he's shooting the heretics. But the raptors back off anyway because the Falcon's too fast. Too fast and too thick now that it's got the shield. For more durability. Oh, Flynn's losing everything down bot. Oh, he lost the strike squad? How did he lose the strike squad down here? I'm not sure how he lost the strike squad given he's only fighting ranged units. That seems a bit odd. And these interceptors, man. Terminators are going to be a struggle because you've got 6 Inferno Bolters which are now leveling up. They're level 2 and you've got 2 Plasma Guns down here. The Terminators can't retreat. So if you ever find yourself outnumbered, these guys, when they turn around and chase you down, are gonna be a problem. So that's fine, they're gonna win the fight 1v1, but like I say, all it takes is a double from Baton, and all of a sudden these Terminators are now fucked, because the DPS from these guys chasing the Terminators back to base is gonna be a nightmare, especially with Corn Worship for the speed boost. There's only one Plague Marine. Von or Razorback should be able to put on tremendous amounts of pressure, but Flynn's comp right now is really bad because he has to fight a Predator as well. So Terminators don't really counter the Predator. They can beat it 1v1, but they can't be chasing after a Predator whilst 2 CSM are shooting at them. That will end in dead Terminators very fast. We still don't see any Blood Maul on the Chaos Lord, which should have probably come out a long time ago. That would have provided counter-initiation potential against the Strike Squad and the Brother Captain. But crucially, the Blood Maul on the Chaos Lord stuns units, not just knocks them back when you hit that hammer. It stuns them. That means you can stun Terminators. Terminators are very vulnerable to stun since they can't retreat out of them like most units. Stun the fucker, focus fire with the tank, and double Zinch Space Marines. This Terminator squad is going to be very easy to deal with. So I would recommend that this Terminator squad travels with the Eldar, because a Terminator squad in this composition, double Prism Falcon, is going to be way harder to counter, because the double Prisms will zone the Chaos Predator like a piece of piss. And the problem is, okay. Alright, we got a levitation here onto the Plague Marines. We're going to shut them up for a little bit of time while the Terminators output their DPS, but really the Predator needs to refocus its fire and kill the Rhino. It's super low on HP, but they're not. It's just focusing the Terminators and the Brother Captain, but look at the DPS here. The anti-heavy infantry DPS coming out of these Terminators is absolutely insane. Once again, we're seeing the Battle Right ability being activated, but it's such a tiny heal. 60 HP per model over 20 seconds is completely irrelevant, and look how deep they are committing to the fight. There is an attempt here to use an Obel's Bombardment, but... And it does actually catch both the Zinch Chaos Space Marines. Looker! Very lucky from Flynn. Very lucky, because if it didn't, that could have been the Terminator's dead. This is just poor macro in general. Send the Terminators up top here. They're going to be able to tank all this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this stuff that Baton has. This stuff is awful at dealing with Terminators. These are okay, DPS. This is trash. This is trash. These guys have got bolters, so they're trash. These don't do anything. These don't do anything. And then when the... so then you bait the Predator of meta, and when that comes up, you have your allies double prisms to kill the Predator with ease. So, I don't know. That would have been the play. But in general, you know, Flynn at this point obviously has lost too many units and can't fight this Chaos Army. Too many units lost. I think Interceptors needed in Tier 2. Grey Knight Dreadnought was an absolutely horrendous choice. Razorback needed to rotate and support Vagrant a lot earlier. Purgation needed to be more aggressive and bash down here when the 2 CSM were up top. Vagrant should have actually called that, because I don't think that's... Well, Flynn should eventually have seen it, but Vagrant should have called it immediately, so Flynn knew, bang, get my Purgation aggressively pushing, get Blessed Aegis on the Brother Captain, send the Brother Captain with us Purgation to zone for them, get the Strike Squad Justicar as soon as you get into Tier 2, and then the Strike Squad, the Brother Captain, and Interceptors in Tier 2 instead of the Dreadnought will absolutely hard shut down this build. I mean, look at this. How does this beat Strike Squad, Blessed Aegis, Brother Captain, and Interceptors? How is it ever going to beat it, man? Even with a Blood Maul, it wouldn't beat it. And he didn't even get the Blood Maul. And then in Tier 3, you can go for a Vortimer Razorback and you can actually fight this Predator. Just keep your Purgation Incinerators. Just use them to sidecap. They'll beat Heretics. You'll be fine. Then, when you see the Dreadnought that Baton has and that Vagrant is struggling to kill, because, you know, look, it's here making a nuisance of itself even in Tier 3, then you can upgrade to a Beamer and help him out. And then when the Predator comes out later, you've got a Beamer to help deter that. So suddenly that facilitates your Vortimer Razorback play better, and then you can follow up and end the game with Grey Knight Terminators. So yeah, there you go. Flynn did send that one in and was wondering where things went wrong. So if you're like, whoa, why is Torpid going in on this poor guy? That's why he wanted some advice. So I think that's clear. There's obviously some mistakes in this game, but pretty nice game there. Unfortunately, the Heretics are going to win. Fuck the Heretics. With an attitude. But that's all, folks. Hope you enjoyed this one. A little bit of 2v2 action for you. And remember, if you got some pretty good replays, you can submit them in the Discord. I'm looking specifically for 2v2 replays at the moment. So join the Discord down below. My Discord, Torpid Palace. Go into replay submissions or drop the replay there. You'll get an upload pretty fast because I don't have a lot of 2v2s, and in particular I'm looking for Imperial Guard or Eldar if you want even more priority. Other than that, check out the Patreon if you want to support the channel. But that is all from your boy STD. I am signing out.